Have you ever felt like you're the only one investing in the connection while she's playing a mysterious game of emotional hide and seek? One minute she's sweet, the next, cold, distant, like a ghost with lipstick. It's the kind of emotional whiplash that doesn't just sting, it haunts, and you sit there wondering, what changed? But here's the reality. Nothing changed. You just finally saw the pattern she's been hiding behind the charm. This isn't love. This is a test, a psychological chess game. And if you're not thinking 3 moves ahead, you're the pawn. In this video, we're diving deep into how to outsmart the woman who's toying with your heart through the lens of Stoic wisdom and unfiltered psychological truth. Because if you're tired of feeling like a side quest in her main storyline, then stick around. By the end, you won't be playing her game anymore. She'll realize you've walked off the board completely. She's not confused. She's calculated. When a woman sends mixed signals, it's easy to assume she's just figuring things out. Wrong. It's not because she's confused, it's because she knows you are. One day she texts you non-stop, laughs at your jokes, calls you babe. The next day, radio silence, like she got abducted by aliens, or worse, got busy. Sound familiar? You rationalize it because that's what we're wired to do when we want someone. Maybe she's just overwhelmed. Maybe she's afraid of love. Maybe she's shy, guarded, healing. No, maybe she's just playing emotional poker, and you keep showing your hand while she never reveals her cards. A Stoic man doesn't cling to promises. He tracks patterns, and patterns never lie. If she inconsistently invests in you, that's not affection, it's manipulation through uncertainty. The more confused you are, the more control she has. Ever try hugging a cactus, hoping it'll eventually turn into a rose? Exactly. Painful optimism is still pain. You must learn to spot the bait before it hooks you. Her breadcrumbs of affection are not signs of potential, they're signs of control. So ask yourself this: if you constantly feel like you're chasing clarity, who's really in control? And more importantly, why do you keep chasing someone who clearly isn't consistent? Here comes the brutal truth. You're not addicted to her. You're addicted to validation. Let's strip away the fantasy. When she pulls away and you feel that knot in your chest, it's not love, it's withdrawal. You're not grieving the loss of her. You're grieving the loss of how you felt when she gave you attention. That one compliment, that random emoji at 11:47 p.m., that accidental brush of her hand. It's not romance, it's dopamine. She becomes your emotional dealer, and every hit costs you a piece of your peace. This is where Stoicism becomes your sword. You must cut the cord between her attention and your identity. Because here's the thing, you weren't in love with her. You were in love with the version of yourself she momentarily made you feel like, a man who was chosen. But would Marcus Aurelius lose sleep over a woman who ghosted him after 3 weeks of flirting and flaky plans? No. He'd pour some wine, write in his journal, "Let her ghost. I am still the flame." You stop being her puppet the moment you stop dancing for her applause. Now here's where it gets interesting. Flip the game. Make her chase validation. Most men don't realize that the minute you stop reacting, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. She's used to you over-explaining, double-texting, posting songs that coincidentally reflect how you're feeling about her. But what happens when the music stops? What happens when you go silent, not in passive aggression, but in strength? That silence screams. It says, I'm no longer emotionally accessible. I'm not begging for breadcrumbs. I see through your smoke. Her ego may expect you to panic, but instead you vanish, not out of spite, but clarity. You've realized this isn't love, it's a circus, and you're no longer auditioning for a role in her show. Pattern interrupt. Imagine if gladiators paused mid-battle to ask, "Hey, are we still good?" You'd be laughed out of the arena. You're not here to win her mood swings. You're here to win your dignity back. And the truth is, when she can't figure out why you're no longer reacting, she starts to question everything. Because unpredictability sparks curiosity, and curiosity reignites the chase. Silence is your loudest weapon. You don't text her. You don't like her stories. You don't post cryptic messages about heartbreak. You go still, not like a boy pouting, but like a warrior reflecting. And suddenly, she notices, not because she misses you, but because she misses the control. Women who play with your heart aren't afraid of losing you. They're afraid of no longer affecting you. Because your silence isn't empty, it's loaded. It says, I'm no longer emotionally profitable. I've seen the game, and I'm bored. I'm too grounded to orbit your chaos. This is psychological power, not to punish, but to disengage. And guess what? That's when she starts reappearing. She sends a meme, she likes an old photo, she drops the classic, "Hey, stranger." But here's the million-dollar question. Do you let her back in? When she circles back, and she will, it's not because she had a grand epiphany while meditating on a mountaintop. It's because she feels the vacuum where your attention used to live. And she wants to fill it again, not with love, but with control. This is where 90% of men relapse. She bats her lashes, sends a photo, says she misses your energy, and you, crack. Don't. Now is the time to test her energy before you trust her words. She doesn't deserve a second chance because she returns. She deserves evaluation because she's different, and if she's not, lock the door with peace. Ask yourself, is she showing up out of love or ego? Is she consistent or just present? Is she rebuilding or reminiscing? Because anyone can say, "I miss you," but consistency is a love language. And now, we transition into the most important truth of all. So, you've stopped chasing. You've gone silent, not to punish, but to protect. She's reaching out again. Now what? You've reached the moment of truth. This isn't where the game ends. This is where you decide if the game even matters anymore. And here's the real twist. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't to block her. It's to be so indifferent that she realizes she no longer controls the board. Let's talk about emotional detachment, not as a cold weapon, but as a path to freedom. Your peace is too expensive to rent out. Here's the brutal truth that most men avoid. Sometimes the highest form of strength isn't confrontation, it's quiet departure. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're finally awake. You've realized that peace is your birthright, and anyone who disrupts it is trespassing. You don't need revenge. You don't need closure. You don't even need her to understand what she did. You just need your self-respect back. When you exit with grace, she feels it more than any emotional outburst. She expected you to explode, cry, beg, chase. You gave her silence, stillness, and sovereignty. And that's what haunts people the most. Not your anger, but your absence. Because now she sees you didn't just stop texting. You stopped caring. That's the real power. Detachment isn't cold, it's clear. Let's clarify one thing. Stoic detachment doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let your emotions hijack your standards. It means you can miss someone and still not want them back. It means you can acknowledge the connection and still protect your boundaries. It means you can love deeply, but refuse to drown in chaos. This is not about building walls, it's about building gates, with locks and keys you don't hand out to anyone who smiles pretty. When was the last time you asked yourself, is this relationship a sanctuary or a storm? If it's not peace, it's poison, and no amount of history justifies emotional toxicity. Remember, Stoicism teaches us not to be emotionless, but emotionally disciplined, and that includes walking away from anyone who makes you doubt your worth. She's not chasing you, she's chasing control. Let's get real about what happens when you detach. She doesn't come back because she loves you. She comes back because she lost her emotional grip. Her texts increase, her selfies get thirstier, her "I've been thinking about you" messages are more frequent. But look deeper. Is she rebuilding, or is she rehearsing? Is she consistent, or just convenient? This is where you rise above the illusion. Because when you're truly detached, you don't take the bait anymore. You see it for what it is, a pattern, not a promise. So now you test, observe, stay calm, not to play hard to get, but to stay hard to manipulate. When your peace is priority, nothing distracts you, not beauty, not charm, not memory. You've outgrown the need for her to like you. Now you're focused on respecting yourself. Be the flame, not the moth. Every man has a choice. Be the moth, drawn to toxic flames that destroy him, or be the flame, burning with purpose, clarity, and standards so high, confusion can't survive in your presence. The moth chases, the flame attracts, the moth begs, the flame selects. The moth loses himself trying to be chosen. The flame chooses himself, and in doing so, becomes unforgettable. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You are not here to earn love by tolerating chaos. You are here to receive love by protecting your energy. And when you stand in this energy, not even the most manipulative, confusing, seductive woman can shake you. Because she'll realize something devastating. She can't reach the man who's no longer emotionally available for games. Make her earn back access. Here's a principle that should be written in fire. Access to you must be earned, not assumed. Just because she wants back in doesn't mean the door is open. Just because she apologizes doesn't mean she's changed. Just because she misses you doesn't mean she respects you. Test her with time. Test her with space. Test her with consistency. Stop rewarding re-entry based on emotion. Start requiring demonstrated growth. She doesn't get VIP status because she returned. She gets a waiting list, and only if her actions outlast her words. This isn't bitterness, it's wisdom. Because the man who guards his heart with logic lives with fewer regrets. Your self-worth is the real prize. Here's what Stoicism teaches us. Everything external is fleeting. Money, beauty, attention, admiration. What lasts is who you become when no one is watching. When you say, I don't need her to validate me. I don't need her to chase me. I don't even need her to understand me. That's when you're finally free. You've stopped outsourcing your worth. You've stopped renting your peace to someone who doesn't pay with commitment. And now you're unshakable. You are no longer afraid to lose her because you've found you. You are no longer paralyzed by confusion because you live in clarity. You are no longer reactive because you respond with calm power. That is Stoic masculinity in its final form. Let her watch you rise, silently. When you walk away with calm and composure, something magical happens. She starts watching, not your stories, not your feed. She starts watching your life. She sees you level up. She sees your energy shift. She sees other women respect you. And she realizes she didn't break you. She built you. By walking away, she handed you the blueprint. You stopped begging. You started building. You stopped chasing. You started choosing. That's what Stoicism does. It transforms heartbreak into fuel. It turns confusion into clarity. It takes emotional chaos and forges it into masculine presence. Final message, the choice is yours. So now, ask yourself, are you going to keep falling for the same patterns? Or will you rise with discipline and detachment? Will you keep auditioning for women who love attention more than connection? Or will you walk away like the king you are? Because this isn't just a dating strategy. It's a life philosophy. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be respected. You're not here to be picked. You're here to pick yourself. And the moment you realize your peace is sacred, you'll never again let anyone treat it like an option. Now it's your move. If this message hit you in the soul, subscribe now for more truth on Stoic power, female psychology, and masculine self-mastery. Drop a comment below. My peace is not for sale. Let the world know you're done being a pawn. You've become the man who sets the standard, and it all starts with you.